think one thing we have to be careful of when we focus on law and labor law is sometimes we inflate it a little bit too much and we make it sound more important and that we should focus on it too much. So I want to frame my remarks a little bit around a couple simple principles. One is I don't think there's any justice for workers in the capitalist courts. That's been my experience as a rank and file retail and fast food worker and also as a labor lawyer. In my experience in those different capacities is that workers win justice through direct action and solidarity. That's the model we use at Brandworkers. We're based in Long Island City, Queens. We're a nonprofit organization. Our big campaign is called Focus on the Food Chain. It's a partnership with the Industrial Works of the World in New York, a grassroots labor union. We're organizing in a very little known sector that's absolutely integral to all of us who eat here in New York, and that's New York City's food processing and distribution sector. These are factories and warehouses where anything that you eat, there's a high likelihood it's come through this sector, right? Hummus, seafood, beer, bread, you name it. 35,000 workers, largely invisible, we don't see them, are working to bring us our food in New York City at the restaurants and grocery stores where we purchase what we eat. Immigrant workers, same folks that Sonia was talking about, workers of color, they're exposed to wage theft, they're exposed to reckless disregard for health and safety. A 22-year-old indigenous Guatemalan worker was crushed to death in this sector in East Williamsburg last year. We helped get his boss arrested. We were very happy about that this year. And tremendous discrimination. I mean, workers of color, experienced, expert workers, 10, 12, 14, 15 years of experience, get an assignment. Train this new white hire. Train them. They don't know anything. 2-3 months later, that white hire is on the management team. And our members, workers of color from Latin America, are still left in the lower paying, harder, more difficult jobs. If you're interested in focus on the food chain, we're very open. There's opportunities to learn or execute organizing, research, media work, and much more. You can find us on Facebook, of course, at Focus on the Food Chain. And I'm delighted to talk to anyone after tonight if you're interested in getting more involved. So going back to how I hopefully frame this, that we can't get too caught up in this legal thing. The task that I think has been laid out for me today is to lay out a legal theory and practice that maximizes worker direct action and solidarity and minimizes interference from the capitalist courts, which are a key institution of the 1%. Now, this is Occupy, right? We want to talk about general strikes. We want to talk about plant occupations, right? Militant picketing. Well, yeah. I'm not going to totally disappoint you. I am going to address the question of the general strike, the legal framework. But, you know, those are just tactics. And tactics, and they're important tactics, don't get me wrong. But tactics alone don't improve our workplace, and they certainly won't transform our economy or our society. I'd like to argue, brothers and sisters, tonight, that actually by far, by a long shot, the most important task facing our working class today is the present lack of organization of our class. And I think Occupy presents a truly singular opportunity to build organization amongst our class. As organized workers on the job, on one level, in our industries on a much broader level, and then really broad within the economy, I think that's when we're going to see the kind of dramatic change we're looking for, which we need, right? Currently, under the law, we shed our right to liberty when we walk into work in the morning or at night. We shed our right to liberty. In the political space, not that we have it, but at least we think we deserve democracy. In the economic arena, which has so much to do with where our power is and where our time is spent, largely as a working class, we've given up on this idea that democracy should extend into work, and that's a problem. I think what we need to think, though, and Occupy finally is giving us a chance to do this, is what kind of organizing do we need to do to really try to have a transformational movement. So I want to talk about that kind of organizing tonight. And something that may provoke some, I actually don't believe that the most dangerous aspect of labor law today is the prohibition of certain tactics. And I'm going to be talking about, I should say, the private sector, not the public sector. I don't think that's the most dangerous thing about labor law. No doubt, the prohibitions, especially the Taft-Hartley prohibitions, which do prohibit some important secondary tools, are wicked and must be challenged. Please don't get me wrong. But I think what's more dangerous is the law's fostering of a certain type of unionism. And that unionism is largely business unionism. Let me define that for those who maybe aren't acquainted with that term. It's do-it-for-me unionism. It's provide me service. Get me the lawyer, the accountant, the organizer, and the researcher, none of whom work on the job. I'm sure we have organizers and researchers here. So no offense, you're workers too. I'm not talking about you. That kind of unionism maintains stability within capitalism rather than a kind of unionism that fosters the agency of workers themselves and helps them develop as protagonists of revolutionary change. So the legal roadmap I'm going to lay out speaks to this kind of unionism, and I would be very remiss if I didn't mention my co-author of Labor Law for the Rank and File, Amy very kindly spoke about, Stoughton Lind. Stoughton and I wrote the book Deeply Committed to being relevant to workers like Amy, so it means a lot, really, what she said. Stoughton calls this concept solidarity unionism. It's really simple. It's unionism based on direct action where workers themselves, workers at work, are the primary movers of the union's actions. Whether it's campaigning, whether it's organizing, whether it's fighting. Does that mean workers exist in a vacuum and they're on an island and they have to do everything themselves and they can't reach out to allies? Of course not. It's nothing silly like that. But rather than the service provider model, the do-it-for-me kind of unionism, it's more in line with this do-it-yourself, right? That's what Stoughton has laid out, and I've been extremely privileged to collaborate with him. By the way, is with Occupy Youngstown. He's in his 80s, Stoughton Lind, for those who don't know, and he is an occupier down in Youngstown.